Hello everybody, Sego StarCraft here, doing a little ladder action. Want to do a bit of a micro tournament today, so tried to get a little bit of games in before that happened. We got I Am Disaster, he's actually Platinum League. Terran down here in the bottom left, against myself. Blue Terran, top right. Playing a little bit more of my Terran, it's kind of been emerging as my more consistent race to play. Maybe it's just because I have a lot more fun playing that, so I'm putting more time into it. But we'll see that I've actually started working on some fairly effective build strategies here that I thought would be pretty fun for people that are working on some Terran strategies to give it a try. I'm not worried about walling off. I know there's a lot of people who choose to still wall off, and it does actually come in handy quite a bit. Let's see what this guy's logo is. Oh, nice logo. I like that picture. I think it's Carlsberg. I think it's a Carlsberg beer logo. Whatever. He doesn't look like he's worried about walling off either. I am going for gas first. It means I've got to actually cut some workers in order to kind of make this work. It's not super polished, but we see a lot of pros right now using gas first as a big standard before going into the barracks, just because, as we see even from I Am Disaster, it allows you to very, very quickly tech up. And that's been very important in the TVT matchup, getting out your anti-air, getting out tanks, stuff to just keep you alive. And we'll both be going for barracks, nice and tight. So pretty mirror build starting off here, and not too worried about it at all. Looks like he's got his timings a bit more polished. He's ahead by one worker. Well, what can you do? Interestingly enough, we're going to see that I Am Disaster here. I don't know if this gas necessarily plays in super well with the type of build he's going. You got to understand how big of a sacrifice it is to do this. You got to, say, delay your barracks. You're not making as many minerals. It's 3 workers not making minerals for you. And if you can't spend that gas right away, it just becomes a really expensive investment that doesn't really pay off. And you'll be surprised how quickly you bank up gas. We can see I'm at 100 gas, a bit faster, but I think his timing is a little bit more crisp if he wanted to get that factory started right away. And that's the purpose of getting this gas down, is to be able to get a fast factory out. We can see he's got the resources to afford it right now, but he's not necessarily using it, or even getting a Reaper. So getting that gas right away, not necessarily as important for him. Whereas me, I will be spending it fast and furiously. And it's delaying my orbital a bit as well. I will delay one worker and get that orbital started pretty quick. For him, he's actually going barracks into command center. And that's a little bit interesting for me. Once again, not using that gas. So he's already at 200 gas, and it's not necessarily being spent. He's Platinum League, so I give him a little bit more credit for planning out these builds. I will be going for an SEV scout, and we'll see this is very important for me. Because I'm not going for a Reaper Scout, that coming in here and seeing the timing of that command center, most importantly. And then I see the gas and the orbital timing. Very important. Seeing this command center down means I'm not worried about him going into immediate Banshees or something like that. Yes, the gas is down, but it's likely for more defensive play. Slightly delayed. He might get out a Viking and a Raven to just kind of keep himself alive. Myself, factory immediately into reactor. Just 2 Marines at the front. Should be able to deny a scout. And making sure I keep ahead on my supply, because I want to go into a Hellion and Banshee play. And this is pretty much because I saw the command center. If I didn't see this command center down, I probably wouldn't be going straight into Banshees, just because it wouldn't necessarily pay off. If a Terran's opening up on one base, they'll have out the Marines or the Viking or the Raven or their own Banshee. Things are going to screw you up. But because he invested so much money into that command center, I'm pretty certain he doesn't have down an engineering bay and turrets yet, because he just can't afford it. He will be getting down a bunker, which is smart. And if he can, get ahead on his economy here, as he's already probably pulling a pretty good lead, he's up by 2 workers, and he's got a command center already finished, he will be in a great spot if he can transition into a defense. More Hellions on the way. Banshee started. You really got to stay on your supply depots to make a build like this. You eat up supply so fast, you're making SCVs, double Hellions, and Banshees. And I'm not even bothering with the Cloak. I was considering getting Cloak, but at this point, it's more just about the damage, the pure raw damage of the Banshee that's important to me, as opposed to necessarily getting anything else. Floating his barracks out to the front, just so we get a little bit more vision. And it looks like he's going to be going into Mech then, as his option. He's also going into Hellions. We'll be getting a pretty good economy lead here pretty quick. Banshee's on its way down. Oh, come back here, mouse. I'm going to wait for about 6 Hellions, I believe, before I push out. And I'm just going to rally the factory to my Hellions, so that way they'll come out and join my guys across the field. So they're on their way. Looks like they might meet up with these two Hellions, or at least get scouted by them. So good move for him, putting these Hellions out on the map. He will see these crossing over to his side. He didn't see the Banshee, though. He has just about as many Hellions as I do, but they're not all in position. I'm starting a command center behind this. Now my Banshee is going to be able to come in here and start doing some work. Hellion's going to rush around to the back. Just completely deny this piece. This Banshee now I'm going to send into the main. Leave the Hellions here to clean everything up. And they're going to get nice lineup shots on the rest of those. A little bit cluttered up in here, not getting the best shots off. But when you see Hellions, they just get so much better the more you have, obviously. Because you line up shots, get in that extra splash damage. Behind this, more Hellions, command center. He's kind of panicking down the missile turrets. This Banshee's already up to 10 kills. I do see the panic missile turrets going down, so I'm going to get out of range. I'm just going to put this guy in hold position. He doesn't have anything. He's got no Marines. He's got nothing to do anti-air. He's got one Marine in a bunker. I'm actually just going to run away with these Hellions because they can't do anything else. And there's nothing that can touch this Banshee now. Yes, he's got down a whole bunch of missile turrets, but they're really not in a position to help with anything. He can't finish his starport. My Banshee is actually over here guarding it. Does get out some Widow Mines. I mean, that is anti-air, but it's not necessarily great anti-air. Behind this, more factories, and extra gas. So I'm willing to go on to the next stage of my macro here. I'm going to head out with all of my Hellions. This Banshee, I had a second Banshee come down here. He's actually going to be in position to help out a lot. This Banshee's just being annoying. How many kills is he up to now? 22 kills. Almost killed off that Widow Mine, but he will mass repair that. Hellions at the watchtower. Babysitting my Banshee here. I do want to keep it alive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run in one Hellion and hopefully pull off some splash damage from that Widow Mine, get it to fire. And then I can send in the rest. They're actually just going to run right by. I notice he doesn't have much in that command center. And I will get that Widow Mine before it's finished. I don't think he's got any workers. No, he's got these three. And there's the GG. Just a smart, fun little build. I actually liked it a lot, but it's based on the fact that he went for the CC first and he went for mech. If he had gone for just mass Marines, maybe he would have held this off a little bit easier. But there's just a smart, fun little strategy to use, and it wasn't all in-ish, right? Behind this command center, further macro. So I was in a pretty good spot. Like the build, Seiko StarCraft. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later.